Good morning, Jen here with another episode of Moving Forward with Hope, Happiness, and Heart. I'm a little bit late here because I got sidetracked and then I had trouble getting a connection, so it seems to be working now. It's all right. Today I want to talk about discernment because there's a lot of information going around these days that people claim is fake, false. A lot of people are saying that they're not sure what to believe, or they just don't listen to one side because they've been told that it's not true. So that can cause a lot of stress and anxiety and just feelings of uncertainty about what even to believe about the world anymore. And I think that is really hindering our ability to be happy and to it's hurting relationships. It's just, there's so many issues with it. So it's hurting our trust, which to me is a principle of being happy and fulfilled. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that today and see if I can help support you in using better discernment in what to believe, how to decide what to believe. I have a really analytical, logical mind, and not to say that I'm always analytical and logical, because of course we all have our emotional moments. So anyway, I think I'm about to get interrupted. Oh, maybe not. Okay. All right. So I took this class in college, like way early on, probably, it might have even been in the late 80s, and it was called Logic and Critical Thinking. And I was, I had somebody start to come in. Oh, they're coming in. Okay. So anyway, it was called Logic and Critical Thinking, and it was a really great class. You would think that you wouldn't need a class to know how to think logically, but it was really clear in helping to figure out how to discern whether something is true or just sort of maybe a little wishy-washy. Obviously, it was a really long time, so I don't remember every detail of it, but I really remember something that stood out was the implied if-then. Like, we talked a lot about commercials and marketing and how, I want to say at the time there was like this pizza roll commercial when they would say if pizza's on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime. Like, so it was okay to have it for breakfast, to like the little bagel bite furs and things. And we kind of analyzed commercials like that to say, well, is that really true? Is the premise really true in the first place? That, if pizza's on a bagel, does that really make it healthy? That was sort of the implied marketing concept of it. And obviously, I'm just totally touching the tip of the iceberg here. But that was one of the things that stood out, and it was like, yeah, no, maybe it isn't so healthy. So I don't know if it was that class that got me looking at things differently, or if that was just something that's in my nature anyway. But I do remember the class, and I think that it definitely had an impact. So I looked up logic and critical thinking on the internet recently, and even the stuff that comes up does not seem necessarily logic, and doesn't necessarily seem logical, and like it requires critical thinking. But basically, it's really there's a lot of stuff out there. It's really up to you to kind of back up and say, okay, is this actually logical? Does this make sense, what they're saying? So there's a lot of all right, so I guess I'm going to just kind of go out on a limb here. I'm not going to really say anything about my opinions because I have my opinions on it. But there's a lot of controversy about the COVID that's going around, and whether masks work or don't work, whether you should get a vaccine or not get a vaccine. And I think that's just these questions and the conflicting information out there is causing people a lot of stress, which obviously hinders your happiness. So that can happen with anything, but that's one of the big things, or even the election. Excuse me. And so I'm just going to kind of give you some tips of how to kind of step back and do your own critical thinking around it so that you can decide what best to believe. Personally, I take it all with a grain of salt, and I have my inclinations to lean one way or the other on any issue, and I have my inclination to believe more strongly what's true and what's not true. I also don't believe in any absolutes, and I think that anything could be true, and very often the truth lies somewhere in the middle. So here's some tips. First of all, don't just blindly believe what somebody says because they said it, little snippets. If it's something that's important to you to know what the truth is behind it, then do some research. Get as close to the source as possible. If somebody said, so-and-so said this in a speech. We have internet technology now, which obviously is creating some of these issues, but it's also a way for us to get clear on what the real truth is. So go find where that person said that. Listen to a little more of the context. See if you can find a transcript. Whatever is the easiest for you, and make a determination that way. If someone says, well, this is true because it's based on science, dig a little deeper and find some of that science and challenge it. Look for conflicting science. Even if it's what you want to believe, look for the other side. Very often, if I want to believe something, I'm going, let me check that though. And very often, it does not take more than 5 minutes to find that, oh, that's not quite what was said there. That's not quite the truth. I mean, it might be factually true, but taken out of context and a little bit distorted to present one viewpoint or another viewpoint. So I've been very seriously thinking about doing some in-depth videos on how to research certain things and just walking through exactly what to do. But there's a lot of, it's just so easy. It's so easy to research these things yourself rather than, certainly don't just believe some meme because it's on a meme. I've seen quotes misattributed to people just because there's a picture of a person on there and then something that's allegedly a quote. I just do a quick search to see if there's any conflicting information about it, and very often there is, no matter what the viewpoint. So anyway, sometimes the best advice is just to say, I'm not sure because I'm not an expert in this area, but here's what I see that all lines up. Here's what I see that goes against that, and maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. And if we can all use more discernment, we can get along better, and we can be happier because we're not so stressed out about what to believe and what not to believe. So I know that's not going to solve, this isn't going to solve everything, and it's not, some things, there's not really a way for us to know the truth unless we have firsthand information of it. Absolutely 100% for sure. But if you can take a step back and use some discernment and do your best, then I think you'll be a lot happier. And in some cases, just maybe it doesn't matter that much. I know some of these things really do matter a lot, and some of them don't matter so much. So if you have any questions or comments, or if you'd like a walkthrough on helping how to research something that you're interested in finding out the truth about, I'd be happy to see if I can help walk you through that and get some more clarity on what you want to believe or not believe. So, all right, I know this is kind of a heavy topic, and I've been a little bit more light in the past ones. So, all right. Drop your questions or comments and let me know if there's anything that you need support on in this area, and I'll be happy to do my best to incorporate it in. All right, have a happy, wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.